What's going on, everybody? Cheers. Oh, man. I forgot this one's on this side. This is confusing. Oh, my hair's down, too. Cheers. Good morning. What's going on? How are you guys feeling today? Hope you guys are feeling well. We got a special show planned. I should probably be in front of the camera when I'm talking. Yo. We got a special show planned where we're going to talk about the XRP ledger. Is there two ledgers? Can you split the ledger up? Is there going to be a private ledger, a retail ledger, etc., etc.? Let me fix myself up here real quick. And I think I put the other weird. Now I got an echo. Do you guys hear the echo? Is that just me? Just I have an echo. Hello. Harmony. All right. I'm on this side in this screen, so that's kind of weird. No big deal. And if I come back to this screen, oh, there's a hotkey waiting. And
questions. Who are you?
I have told you.
Are you deaf?
No, you is blind.
I'm not blind. You blind.
On this one, I'm on this side. All right. Cheers. Hopefully just I hear this echo and not you guys. Perfect. All right, let's get down to business. What's up? Cheers. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Nerd Chat. Blockchain chat with the nerd. Kung Fu Nerd. Breaking down blockchain and DLT tech. How to not lose money. How to stay ahead of the FUD. Chop through the FUD. Stay ahead of the FOMO. Etc. Boom. You need more shoulder in this stream? Baby. Which side's closer to the camera? Oh, God. No, I'm just kidding. This is a normal shirt. You guys keep yourself together, okay? We're talking about nerd stuff. If you want more photos of shoulders, go like my photos on Instagram. That's where all my naked photos are. Good. Let's just do this. Let's just go through this. What's up, Corey Ziegelman, my boy? Ooh, good morning, fam. What's up, Nerd Herd? Is that what we said? Nerd Herd? I think we should go with ninjas. What's up with you? Nerd ninjas. I'm training an army of smart ninjas around the world. That's our real plan. That's been goal from day one. What's up, you beautiful bastards? Hope you guys are feeling well today. Hope you're having a good day, starting off well. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good evening, good afternoon, good night, depending on where you are. What's up? Miyagi, Jake, Chetta, Something Clever, Ripple, XRP, Mo. What's up, Mo? Diane, Teeny, Manesh, Ed Vala, Aftab Ali, Big John, Mr. Pace, my boy, Jordan Ring, Something Clever, Andre, XRP Owl, Myron. What's up, Myron? Great Pate. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you guys. Good to have you in the chat. Thanks for joining. Anthony Jackson, Ripple, XRP. What's up? You guys are mods deleting each other's comments? Are we getting some mod battle in here? Do we have some like secret mods that are not supporters of the KFN army? Is that what's happening? I'm gonna kick everybody out. Clearing house, starting from the beginning. We'll have no mods tomorrow. I'm just kidding. Maybe not. Someone tell me how volume went up, but price tanked. Aftab Ali. We can talk about that. David D, what's up, Foo? Mr. Pace, I'm liking the new intro. Dude, that new intro is lit. I had to put it together and think about, like, what am I doing on YouTube? I'm doing a lot of shit. I should make an intro that kind of, like, is concise and is like, look, this is what we're doing. Everything. Good morning, Jalen. Good to see you. Nick, what's up? What's up? Skirch, what's going on? All right, let's get to it. What's up? Teeny Papa, what's up? Chellfire, good to see you. So today's stream, we're really going to highlight something that we finished off yesterday with and not really addressed, which was, I think Sean was bringing up some information about split ledgers. People were talking about a private ledger or hidden ledgers or a test ledger and asking my opinion about that. Let me just go ahead and say, this is a bunch of my opinion. This is it. What's up, Sean? Cheers, man. Thanks for showing up. Sean been doing a bunch of helping me with some research, looking for some facts and looking for some mentions from David, etc. So yeah, good morning. Hope everyone did lots of research and really thought about what's happening here. I made a call a few days ago. I was maybe on the zoo or chatting in the zoo chat, and I made it public on my channel where I said we're going to have a continued bear market. I put up a tweet that just reflected that. We had about $500 fall off the price of Bitcoin in the last 12 hours, about 12% down. The entire market's in the red. The entire market cap is down to 121 billion. Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin taking a brunt of that loss, 15%, 16% down for those. XRP is about 10%. Coin market cap shows 9% for Bitcoin, but I think it's about 12 actually, so 12% down. And that's okay. That's what we expected because we don't have a lot of anything else that could happen. I think there's some people that maybe expected, well, Tron took a tank, but it's still around 2 cents. So anyway, made that call. That seems like it's out there. What's up? Thanks for subscribing. Hey, cheers. So 36 cents down to 32. It was holding and fighting at 32 for a second, and I was watching it. Kind of find some support here. It's really just mimicking and following Bitcoin, so there's not really a big surprise there. There's not a lot of news about why XRP dropped other than the fact that it's paired to Bitcoin and it's following the lead. So Bitcoin dropped pretty much the exact same pattern inside Bitcoin, same support levels, same breakaway from the Bollinger Band right here at the bottom. And you can see the stochastics kind of following the exact same pattern. So nothing too surprising. I kind of expected that to happen, and it did. And here we are. XRP was fighting for 32 cents for a minute. It kind of hit a bottom of 31.5, and now we're coming back. We had support at 32, but I think we're dropping below 32 to 31.9 right now. I think that the discussion, we fell off yesterday at the end of the video because it was over an hour and we were capping them in an hour. Even though we were saying, wait, we were saying we're going to do 30-minute streams. What happened to that? What happened to the 30-minute stream, Kung Fu? Thanks a bunch for wasting... No, wait, there's no waste of time. Cheers. Smash the like button. Thank you so much for the reminder, Anthony Jackson. I really appreciate when you guys hit the like button and show your support. It means a lot. Well, the discussion actually took a fun turn yesterday when somebody on Twitter decided to put up a tweet talking about asking basically the same question we were talking on here. I think that they were hoping to have some type of insight that they maybe thought I couldn't get to on my own, or whatever it was. This person, Mr. XRP, blocked me and then asked David Schwartz a bunch of questions basically about what I was talking about yesterday. Since I follow David Schwartz, and since a lot of you guys do and you respond to him, I was cued into the conversation, and we can follow up on it anyway on our own. So thank you, XRP man, for blocking me and for asking these questions and for getting David's attention. Cheers. So yesterday we were talking a lot about the private ledger, split ledger. Is there a secret ledger? The secret ledger where all the real prices are. They're holding back on us. Guys, there's a whole huge price of XRP. They're just not letting you see it. They're not letting you see it. So I fixed the sound to where now I hear an echo and I can hear the hotkeys and the voice chat, and I like hotkeys as much as you guys like hotkeys. So let's hit some hotkeys. Let's hit some hotkeys. I think this one really just kind of epitomizes what's happening in crypto. A bunch of people speaking different languages, trying to have a conversation. Regulators be like, dang it, why does it stick? Stop sticking. Work.
Questions. Who are you?
I have told you.
Are you deaf?
No, you is blind.
I'm not blind. You blind.
That is what I just said.
You just said what?
I did not say what. I said you.
That's what I'm asking you.
Okay. Cheers. Never day trade XRP, says Jake. Fraud unless you're a TA expert. I want to have Crypto Eddie, not Crypto Eddie, SB. I want to have Crypto Eddie on the show too. Cheers, Crypto Eddie, if you're out there listening. I love you. You're beautiful and amazing. I want to hang out with you on stream and chat. But also Crypto SB, he's the TA guy in XRP. I want to have him on. I'm going to have him on and because I think he's great, and I'm going to chat him up and we're going to be friends. But I'm also going to I want to be a little bit of a interrogator and ask him a little bit more about his TA, because my understanding of trade analysis is that it's hard to really set real predictions without real metrics. And since we know that a lot of the market is continually affected by price momentum and speculation and not a lot else, maybe the social metrics of the specific tokens, that to me lends to the conversation that it's very, very hard to do TA right now. So cheers. That's a good point. Good point. Snowman, thanks for chiming in and throwing this out. I'll have to look at this, what this means after we talk about this split ledger for a second. Zuckerberg, information gathering intelligence operator. Oh wait, I already know what that doesn't need any more research. That's pretty straightforward. I like what Sean Schaefer said in the chat right here, and we're gonna move away from the chat in a second, but I agree 100%. We are rich and we don't even know it yet. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm gonna close the chat out and I'll put it in the background, and I'm gonna bring it back up on my phone so I'll be able to look at it every now and then. Thank you everybody who super chatted me yesterday, and thank you everyone for the tips on the XRP tip bot. I really appreciate that. It was really cool to I just like looked at that randomly yesterday and I saw some tips. Thanks guys for sending those over. You guys are so sweet. You guys are the best. You guys are just the best. Okay, so I have the chat up and I can see where we were just a second ago. Preach Gabriel, KFN hotkey. I tried to cheat with Hollow. It kept going from 17 sats to 16 sats, so I just sat by, going to sell at 17 sats and buy at 16, $500 gain, but Binance didn't let me do it. That's the thing about, if you can catch some of those like opportunities for, I think I don't know if it's swing trading or margin trading. I'm not sure exactly on the vocabulary for that, but if you're trying to do really short trades up and down inside the volatility of these metrics, that's something I was doing for a little while back in the day, because it was almost so easy to see like the reoccurring pattern of this really quick movement, these like margin movements, that I would say, I don't even know how to define that as far as a trading type, because I don't do that much research into the vocabulary of trading, but I should figure that out. I should look at that. But whenever you're trading with those small movements, the problem is that you get limited by the exchange you're in. So Binance does freeze up because there's so many people maybe trying to trade at once. And what happens is you get stuck in one of those moves. And maybe you get stuck when you're out and you're fine. And maybe you get stuck when you're in and it's not fine. Not fine. But let's move on. So yesterday we talked a little bit about the dual ledger, and I said no. Sean was saying he thought he found some information about how there was a testnet ledger that was built, and I was saying basically you can't have a split ledger. You could maybe fork XRP, and you could say like, well, we forked it and we're having a testnet. And I was thinking about how would that work if there was a testnet and they forked the ledger, so they had their own control of another little small ledger. What would be the incentive to bring banks back on? Obviously the corridor, they probably wouldn't open up the corridors on the testnet. But looking at this thread, let's just read through this thread, and then I'll talk about what it seems the reality of this conversation is, and you can probably pick it up as we go through. So David Schwartz responded to the question. Basically the title of the stream is, are there two ledgers, the retail and the institutional? And then he says it's hard to imagine what such a merger would look like. It would have to follow the rules of the public ledger. So it's kind of funny. He said, I was actually thinking just today, maybe he watched our stream. David Schwartz, bro, come on the stream, bro. Woo! He said, I was actually thinking today about how cool it would be if you could run the XRPL software in private ledger mode and later bridge to the public ledger. For example, you could have an asset issued on both ledgers that's bridged by validators to the public ledger who multi-signs transactions. It's actually a cool use case to cut transaction fees and scale. I was thinking about this and what that means, but let's go ahead and read some more and see what he's talking about. So he says the authoritative record and who has what XRP is basically the XRP ledger. So there's plenty of ways you can use real XRP on private ledgers. So imagine like anybody, any of these institutions could buy a bunch of XRP and create a private corridor, and inside that corridor, they can do whatever they want. It would basically save them from the volatility. So he says that. He said it would require operators of the private ledger to get XRP from somewhere in order to do the bridging. And that gives you two interesting use cases. No XRP for cases where the cost of XRP is a factor, and you only need to use XRP when you need to interact with the public ledger. So XRP fully linked for cases where you want liquidity and connectivity and don't mind the very small costs. So this is interesting to think about, and I think obviously we're going to have to do something we haven't done on a live stream ever. Usually we do this in edits. We go to the drawing board. The drawing board. That's right. The drawing board. Here we come. So David says, for example, imagine 100 groups want private ledgers for low-cost transactions in the group. They can each run private ledgers with real XRP, but where transaction fees are much smaller, and you can bridge to and from the public ledger as needed. So this basically is what we've been saying, how there's not a possible split ledger. There's only the possibility of a single ledger that is the base layer, and applications can be built on top of it. So basically what this looks like is, let's say here's our sweet, amazing XRP ledger. I don't know why this just is a better, like, instead of just a line, I'm going to create this, like, this pattern. So here's our XRPL. It's super sweet and sleek and doing all the things that it does. Oh, yeah. There's some, that's a really, can you guys see that? No, you can't see that. Let's put it right here. XRP and then a little dash L, the XRP ledger. So here's the XRP ledger. People are saying, oh, there's a secret ledger. Basically, they duplicated it, a whole secret ledger, and eventually they're going to bridge them together. But that's not how it works. That's not how this ledger's, that's not how any of this works. I mean, again, I could be wrong. And Sean and I are trying to do our best to find if David's talking about that in another moment. But as for the conversation and the information we know right now, basically the test net, if they built one, would be a private ledger. So something that's controlled on both points. That's basically a database, a private database that utilizes XRP. So they're utilizing the token, but on this private corridor. That could be a test net in a sense, but it still would not replicate the reality of what it looks like when you go ahead and push all the volume through the corridors of the main ledger, of the actual ledger. The thing here that's interesting is people might say, well, what happens on this test ledger that, you know, what happens to the price of XRP if all these institutions are buying XRP and using it on this test ledger? That's just a mess. Why would I draw that? What would be the price of XRP? The thing is that in order for them to fuel these private ledgers, if they build like a bunch of these private ledgers and they're using the token, eventually they're going to need to buy the token or buy more of the token, or other institutions are going to figure out, like, this is a cool use case. Well, we need to buy the token first, and then we can play with it in our private ledger. And so all these private ledgers are possible, but again, they're built almost as a type of application layer on top of XRPL. So all these happen above the I probably should have drawn it above it, but anyway, all these happen above the actual ledger and in basically another layer that would result to demand obviously increasing and supply decreasing on XRPL. So if there's a bunch of test nets being built right now and you're like, well, why isn't the price being affected? Gosh darn it. Well, first off, right now, the price dropped today substantially because Bitcoin price dropped. And so you can see as Bitcoin price dropped, XRP price followed the exact same movement. So I'm going to try to catch up with some comments here for a second. Eric Holder, Gunrunner. What's up? What's up? Hey, King KFN. This is from David D. As speculated, Ripple must have sold 400 million or so from the 1 billion escrow this month, circulating supply up, resulting to 132 million increase in the market cap. Yeah, they continually do that. That's part of their system, their incentivization system to bring people on board. Cheers. Sean, well, not Sean, Snowman. You're funny, but keep it a little bit more, I don't know, less molester talk, please. Jeez. Our RFD Ali says, are we rich yet? Are we not rich yet? You know what? I was thinking about this yesterday, chatting with a friend, and she was really fun to chat with. Cheers. Talking about how we've kind of already made it. It's already happened. It's kind of like this idea called maktab in Arabic. I hope I didn't mess that up horribly, but I think the idea is called maktab, and the idea is basically that it's already been written. The hand that wrote it all has already written this outline, and it's kind of like a paradoxical concept in philosophy, because obviously things always change moment to moment. It could be different, but you maybe already are rich. Maybe you're richer than you'll ever know, and you should appreciate what you have right now. Cheers. That's a good idea. Sean Schaefer says, we are just in a simulation like Elon stated. I really like this conversation, and I could probably do a whole stream just talking about simulation theory and the singularity and the laws of quantum mechanics, and how at the root of our reality, the scientists really cannot, I mean, generally regarding analysis of the smallest structures of our reality measurable, it's easy to say we could not effectively tell the difference between simulation or between the natural organic laws of our system. And because in reality, the natural organic order is equivalently a program. It's functioning just like a program when you review it very closely. So whether or not it's a simulation theory or an organic evolved structure is a moot point from inside the system. And I think one of the biggest things that I liked about that conversation about Elon talking about simulation theory was the reality that if we are in a simulation theory, the higher support is the fact that usually baseline reality is not this exciting. That was one of the interesting things I thought about that conversation, was thinking about baseline reality is not this exciting. There's so much here. There's so much possible in this beautiful place that we are existing and manifesting as conscious egocentric entities, that there's a lot of support to the fact that this could be the best simulation around, and we're just kicking it in like the coolest possible game ever. But anyway, that we could talk about that for a whole string of thoughts on another thread, another stream. So maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Also, so let's go to the next comment. Louis says, also there aren't loads of bots who do the trading. Not sure what that was referenced to, but I'll try to catch up. Whoa, Snowman having a wrench has been a horrible idea. You mods need to get along and figure out how to be supportive of each other and be able to be adults and have a conversation without throwing shade, or I'm going to demod everybody. Binance gave the message, you will be selling at 5% less than the market value because of volatility. I don't know what this comment's about either. All right, we're going to get back to the ledger drawing. Seriously, Snowman and Great Pate, both of you guys, calm down. Or I seriously will demod and throw you right out. You can't go in. You'll get tossed right out. Moving on. What's up, Jessica? What's up, Darren? What's up, Delary? How's it going? A free American spirit. No, there's no two ledgers. Let's get back to that chat. So that's what the entire that's really the whole stream is supposed to be about, this dual ledger, these two ledgers. So XRPL not having two ledgers, there's a possibility for private ledgers inside of a closed corridor, like a application functioning on top of XRPL, and that again would always lead back to the XRPL ledger, and there's not two ledgers. But when we were reading this through, and David was talking about, oops, what did I just do? That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. David's talking about the actual use of a private ledger and what that means and how they would link together. And again, these are the things that kind of get confusing if you're really looking at the root of the technology and trying to understand how this stuff works together and what's really happening with the value trap, is what we call it. Basically, like, where is the value going to arrive in these digital assets, and where is it value going to be held? And again, I am not the most proficient coder, nor am I the most proficient designer or engineer in any right. But if you look at this structure and you look at these systems that are being developed, it's my personal opinion that XRP has done a fabulous job of putting together a very unique and efficient ecosystem and use case for digital assets that kind of pair themselves to big consortiums like ILP and other use cases like private corridors inside application suites. But again, all of those are going to be powered back to the manifestation of all those doesn't ever escape the single ledger. So the XRP ledger, if the token's being used, it's going to go back to this ledger. And so banks could be using it and buying it and putting it in these private corridors for use. But eventually, even if they're not using the open ledger for exchange, they're using the token in some other way. If they need more, or if they're referencing this back to needing to pull from the ledger, the records again are kept here on the XRP ledger. So it would create more demand, less supply continuously. So back and forth. Go to the something on YouTube. Please wake up. The Great Awakening is coming. Okay, Snowman, we'll look at that. We'll check that out. To do your research. Everyone do their own research, obviously. But we're sometimes just recognizing that it could be hard to do research as well whenever you guys don't know what you're looking for. So hopefully, at least if you're looking for what to look for, we can help you out with that. Cheers. XRPL is more efficient and more inexpensive compared to proof of work. Yeah, so Gabriel's right. Basically, the XRP ledger is highly efficient compared to proof of work algorithms, basically lending to the idea that proof of work will not be able to sustain a value trap long term. So cheers. That's a good point, Gabriel. Thank you. Would you trade your eye for $1 billion? No. Only choice is how you feel about the certain event. Yeah, that's totally true, Mr. JT. Teeny Papa, what's up? Coinbase can possibly add XRP. Hey, thanks, Louis. I appreciate it. Louis says, I like your philosophy, KFN. Hey, thanks, man. Chisme, what's up? Chat lurking, of course. You got to do it. You gotta get back to work or stay focused on your task, and we'll just be in the background, chatting it up. Cool Alien says, yes, there is 2 ledgers. I would love to see what sources or references that you are putting together that gives you support for that statement. I've spent a good amount of time in the past researching these ledgers, and I did a little bit of research yesterday. Sean did a little bit of searching and digging yesterday because we thought Sean thought, and I believed him, and also now think David might have mentioned something about 2 ledgers. But the conversation gets kind of confusing when you realize, like, he's mentioning a private ledger right here, which could lend to the conversation that there's 2 ledgers, but really there's not. It's just a private ledger built on top of the XRP ledger. And if you understand how the baseline of this open permissionless DLT works, then it would be simple to see that there'd be hundreds, if not thousands, of other private ledgers built on top of this open permissionless ledger. And this is what we're talking about when we talk about the monetary control that's coming through with the IMF and the BSA and the Fed. That they're not gonna just, like, I mean, you can have access to XRPL. Anybody can. That's why this technology is basically inevitable. You can't escape the fact that this is a refinement in technology, much like how when the internet showed up, people thought, like, oh, the internet's not going to work. Well, the internet, you couldn't avoid it developing into what it is today. And that's a realization that eventually they kind of came to, and now they try to create security checks and gate points on the internet, similar to how they're going to have security checks and gate points on the ILP, which is the Interledger Protocol. And the Interledger Protocol as a standard protocol for financial services is being built out by obviously some of the monetary control authorities, is only a way for them to basically set checkpoints and control levers on the gates in and out for these systems. It doesn't necessarily take away the possibility for individuals to build apps that are free of those checkpoints, but those will be harder to use. Just like how, you know, you can do some pretty scandalous stuff right now on the internet, but you got to know the nerdy, techie way to do it. You can't just, it's not going to be like go to Facebook.com and start doing some illegal internet shit. And nobody here is, obviously nobody's doing anything illegal on the internet, all right? We're all following the law to the best of our ability inside of our jurisdiction. Obviously, we're all law-abiding citizens doing exactly whatever we're supposed to be doing, paying our taxes and going to work. But in reality, the most custodial services and the most consumers are going to be thrown into these systems through application layers or through what they're hoping is probably the corporate infrastructure built around these systems. They're probably not going to be highlighting and touting the possibility of individuals building apps that access these same systems and offer the same utility, but maybe without the security or assurance or checkpoints that would be needed to qualify for KYC, AML, the Know Your Customer, and anti-money laundering acts that are integral to the bank system. The BSA, the Bank Service Act, that basically sets those the legality or the limitations of being part of the modern financial system. So as much as it gets really confusing, I really think Albert Einstein's right. If you can't explain it simply, you do not understand it well enough. So this is where I come in. This is where I'm at. Welcome. Welcome to Mornings with Kung Fu, where we talk about blockchain. So let's move on. Cool. There's definitely not two ledgers. Okay, hence why ILP is key. Miyagi right. Hence why ILP is key. And Debris Phillips said, yeah, totally, Debris, you're right. He said it could be the same ledger with a test mode inside. And that's exactly what I think it is. I think if you were to talk about a test ledger right now, it would obviously be a private database that's utilizing the XRP token in a test net sense. The problem with that is that it's still in a isolated insular lagoon private database. It's not part of the open permissionless ledger. So banks might kind of be like, if I was a bank and you were selling me on this technology and I was super confused and I didn't understand a lick of what's going on, I would be like, well, what's going to happen when we do it on the XRPL instead of this private database? And they're going to be like, I don't know. Shoot. Like, it's going to be a little bit different maybe. But it's not. It's going to be different. It's not going to be different. So I think there's two possibilities here in reality. The big question is, are banks going to be actually using XRP openly, pairing it to the XRPL, or are they going to be trying to develop maybe their own private corridors that utilize the token without the volatility of the public ledger? If they do decide to do that, eventually they're still going to need more of the token, I think, and so that lends to the support of greater demand. So great questions. Good thinking. Sean says, I first heard of this dual ledger in a lifeboat stream. Then I heard the price of XRP is or could be $60 on that ledger. Like, I want in, if so, just long enough to sell. Haha. So this is, again, I think part of the problem is that there's a lot of people talking. And I love to the lifeboats. He's a solid guy. We've DM'd a couple times. And honestly, I think he is a smart cookie. And I'm happy to support the fact that we all know only one thing. I'm Batman. No, we all know nothing. That's like the baseline of, like, as soon as you start to learn about something, you realize you don't know very much about it. So if you think you know everything, then you're a fool. If you recognize that you don't know anything, at least you have a chance to learn. And I think that's a smart approach. And I love to the lifeboats, and I like his streams, and I think he's a smart guy. But also I do not think that there's a dual ledger, and I do not think there's a secret price. And I think that sometimes you don't know who to listen to. I get it. There's a incentive. There's a personal, egocentric incentive for you to believe the story that tells you there's a secret ledger that has more value in it. Because of course you want to. Of course you want that. We all want that. Yo, bro, do you hear about that secret ledger? That's got like it's like $100 per XRP in the secret ledger, but you don't get into it. You can't get in. We're not letting you in that one. So we might let you in later if you chop off your arms and sell me your firstborn. Then you can join. I don't know about that, honestly. I'm not really the smartest guy, and I'm not really like the most intelligent person to ask about this. I'm doing my best with the information I have. And I do like this technology. I do like researching it. I do like thinking about it. And I do like thinking about the effective solution of the trilemma. And I think that the trilemma manifests outside of cryptocurrency very easily. It manifests into a bunch of different things. I was about to do a relationship video talking about the trilemma and the trifecta and how interesting it is to like find the perfect where's my camera? The perfect partner. It's like a trilemma. It's like a perfect partner trilemma. I feel like we always have one solid point of our own, and we are highlighting we're spotlighting the 2 points away from us, and we all want all three. And there's an interesting kind of paradox of recognizing that you're not going to be that useful or beneficial to your partnership if you're incomplete, right? So you got to kind of solve your own trilemma. These systems need to solve their own trilemma, the trifecta of this pyramid. And Trinity is such an interesting concept in its own. I could probably talk about Trinity for a whole hour, separate from simulation theory and AI, etc. So we'll save that for another time. Cheers. Oh, we need one ledger. We need one ledger to unite them all. Cheers. Yeah, we do. What's up, Steven Chip? Good to see you, man. Hope you're well today. Sending you some love, dude. Let's see, Sean, so that theory's different. Dismissed. Jalen says, hard to believe XRP is 3 for $1. Fu, do you feel like it'll go lower within a week? That's a hard call. I don't necessarily like to call over unders or try to call the market that much, but I did make a call 4 days ago that we're going to have a continued bear market, and we did see a pretty big drop in Bitcoin's price in the last 12 hours, going from about 4K per Bitcoin down to about 3,500 inside the last 12 hours. Is a pretty big drop. And I would reluctantly say, to my best guess, that we might see a continuation of this pattern until we find. Welcome back. Refresh the stream and we'll be back up. Hopefully you guys didn't hear me singing in the break between. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what to tell you about that. The next week, up or down, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. We'll find out. If you're right, I'll give you XRP. Free American Spirit. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Refresh the stream. It should be back up now. Is it a new stream? We lost a couple people, but we're back up. Here we go. Cheers. All right, let's try to catch up with some of these questions, and we'll talk about this some more, this split ledger conversation. Where was I? I'm trying to go back up. We basically glitched and froze out. Let's see. New chat, new stream. I just basically lost any of the questions before the glitch. So let's go with Free American Spirit. Says POW is taking a beating right now. It needs a lot of work for it to compete with the XRP consensus. Yeah, the XRP, the Ripple consensus protocol is a very unique and efficient system. Sorry guys, 1 second. Let me pause this and I'll be back in 2 seconds. Cheers. Listen to Investor Blast Off. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see what happened. Hey, Sean. What's going on? Says Steven. Hey, Free American Spirit. Dilly. Rick Santos asks, could Ripple legally have two ledgers, one private and one public, without disclosing it to its investors? And I think, Rick, this kind of comes back to what we were just talking about with the, they could totally fork XRP and create a new set of UNLs, a unique node list that supports a whole new ledger. That's not what we're arguing about, but that's again not a split ledger. That's a whole separate ledger. So they could have two ledgers, and if they did have two ledgers, then there's so many questions that come to mind if that happens. Like, what would be the incentive to bring banks back to the public ledger? And also, what would be the reality of the corridors that they're clearing now for XRPL? Like, who are the market makers on a private ledger, or if it's a separate ledger or something like that? You know, like what's the real question here in my mind is like, why have XRPL at all? I think in reality, there's a greater possibility that if they built a private testnet, it would be, again, like an application layer on top of XRPL. So, cheers. See, let's try to catch up. Ripple has no investors. They probably could, as we're not invested in Ripple, we're invested in XRP. Yeah, so they can do whatever they want. They could definitely do that. They could create a whole separate ledger if they wanted, if banks were calling out for that. That's a possibility for sure. I agree, Sean. Just like the web, there's a stage and a production version. Yeah, this is, again, one of those conversations that comes back to possibly if there is another ledger that they forked and built, and it's also paired to the ILP, and it's not one that we have access to or open gates to, then possibly that's not going to be a solution for liquidity unless it's still paired back to other ledgers, other open ledgers like that. And there's so many security vulnerabilities for a private system if it's a controlled database, that basically you have to look at the evolution of this technology. It's not as simple as, yeah, we'll just launch a private ledger. If they forked this other ledger, it's still going to be open. If they forked XRPL, created another ledger, and try to make it private, it's still at some point going to have to be open and permissionless for it to be effective to withstand security vulnerabilities and single point of failure flaws, etc., etc. So Myron says, Kung Fu Nerd, check your Twitter. David is retorting. That's cool. Let's check out what David's retorting. Here we go. Awesome. This is sweet. Let's see. Where can we jump in? I retweeted all those, so those are all old. Here we go. If you were creating such a walled garden, and this is what David considers basically the private systems, or like controlling the garden, is he calls this walled garden technology. So if you had created a walled garden, why use crypto or blockchain at all? That's exactly what I just said. Oh my god, it's like I'm freaking smart or something. That shouldn't be a surprise. Golly, David, where you at, bro? Let's have a freaking coffee, man, and talk about this shit. Anyway, David, yeah, talking about why would you basically, what's the point of this system? This seems like just recreating private ledger balances. That's what everyone's been doing already. So yeah, cheers, David. The innovation, I'll retweet that one. Oops. Oh god, I broke it. Who's this guy? I don't know who that guy is. It seems like if you were to create a walled garden private ledger, why use a crypto or blockchain at all? That's what I just said. This seems like it's recreating private ledger balances, what everyone has been doing already. Thank you, David. The innovation is public ledgers not run by your competitors or overlords, and public overlords. Oh, shit. David, don't sit. Okay. not run by your competitors or overlords, and public pools of liquidity anyone can draw off and contribute to. Without that, there's not much benefit. Well, hot damn. Dang, David, it's like I didn't even need to do this. Maybe I did. I still feel like I need to explain it sometimes and break it down. Okay, that was awesome. Thank you, Myron, for putting that out there. Thanks, dude. That was really, really legit. Let's see if we can catch up on some comments. And I think that we might have, because the stream broke and came back, I have no idea if we're actually at an hour or not. Maybe we might, I think we're closing in on our hour. So I'm going to throw some more responses up really quick, and we'll see where we end up, see how far we can get. I just hope that there's some truth to the Shane Ellis theory. I would say there's not any truth to the Shane Ellis theory. We have debunked that theory so many times. Shane Ellis basically like built a straw man. Not really a straw man. That's a bad fallacy. He basically built on a faulty foundation. So he took like partial truths, and he took some truths from here or there and put them together into like a really captivating narrative. And he's like, oh, you guys want to hear how there's going to be a bunch of money in the ledger? He's right that there's a demand for a certain price point to offer liquidity, but he's not right about the whack math that he put together to try to support it. So the Shane Ellis theory was never right, XRP shill. So I'll just tell you that right now. Important footnote by David Schwartz. None of this is built. Darren Boxer, thank you so much, man. Good comment. None of this is built. It's not particularly difficult. I guess the issue is finding a use case where there is sufficient advantages over just using centralized databases. So this is exactly what's right. The banks might be reluctant to recognize the benefits right now of these open permissionless ledgers, even if they do build these closed corridor private databases using XRP. It still creates a demand for the token. It still creates the incentive for more people to adopt this technology moving forward. And again, if you look at what's the most efficient technology, etc. Let's hit a hotkey for you guys, because you guys know what's up. Let's hit
I like you and have no reason not to. I like you and have no reason not to.
Hey, did you guys hear about that new magical digital asset called XRP?
I kind of want to talk about this for 2 seconds. Oil Painter, I've never seen you around, but hey, cheers, welcome to the stream. And I like your comment. Republic Protocol REN is a dark pool exchange that allows for large volumes to be traded secretly, thus not affecting the price. That's what a black market exchange is, and that's what I think we recognize that there's a lot of those possibly popping up and offering black market exchange possibilities, because that's just how it works. And again, the ledgers themselves are only reporting back like where this movement happens, and the fact that you can buy on black market exchanges over the counter is what they call them, and it doesn't affect the price, is the standard of black market exchanges. So yeah, there you go. Tom Atlanta says, I'm managing software. There are typically 3 environments: develop, Q&A, and production. This could be what they're referring to. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. Tim Gash, what's up, dude? He says, KFN, what up? What a day in the market. Yeah, it's totally one of those days. One of those days where either you're like, woo, this is good, or you're like, nah, I didn't want it. I wasn't ready. So cheers. Yeah, it's hard. Let's see. What up? Aftib Ali says, the ROI for XRP isn't that great compared to other coins. Realistic to $20 XRP will be tough. People sell it every damn increase. XRapid needs crazy volume. The big kicker, Aftab Ali basically is calling that the return on the investment, the ROI for XRP, isn't that great compared to other coins. I think if you look at like right now, the change in 24 hours, you could say like there's other coins maybe that have shorter term returns, but I don't think that you maybe caught us yesterday when we were talking about the moving metrics. So the moving metrics of comparison and projection, where are you comparing XRP's return on investment from? Because if you look a few years back to right now, that's a pretty solid return, bro. Like there's a lot of XRP millionaires that are already kicking it and they're fine, and maybe they're smart enough to know not to sell, and they're sitting there happily doing whatever with their mouth shut, probably sitting next to you at the cubicle as you talk about XRP in like a noob status. He's like sitting there chuckling, thinking about how solid it is that he got in years ago. So I would be very quick to challenge this idea that there's a better option for return on investment, because if you think about what the value trap is, the value trap is not in some short-term pump up. The value trap is in the long-term adoption and utility of the token to the networks. So if you think about who's being brought onto the network, who's going to use the network, what do these other tokens offer? Tell me a single freaking other token that has a better, more operable use case and utility. Throw it at me. I'm waiting. I'm literally sitting here waiting for you to respond. Show me that token. So next, thanks. Cheers, Aftab. I mean that in the best way. We're all adults. We should be able to challenge each other and have a good conversation without taking it personally. So good comment, brah. Good comment. I mean it. I love you. You're amazing. Keep doing you. I hope you guys like this stream. The stage ledger. Stephen Ship says the stage ledger is for testing only to make sure it's working as expected. The production ledger is the real world payment to be sent. Again, if there is a test ledger, and if it's a test ledger that's part of XRPL, it's a private, it's like a application layer built. It's a private ledger in a sense that's controlled like a private database. If they forked XRPL to create a whole separate ledger, then that's a complete different ledger. It still would need to qualify for decentralization and the security vulnerabilities of not having, you can't have a single point of failure or else it's too much of a security vulnerability. So you're back to square one. Why would they launch another ledger to compete with their current ledger? That doesn't make any sense. But cheers. I appreciate you guys for being part of the conversation. Mike Smith says, we all know Hillary's in the deep state runs the secret ledger. Now that's a conversation we can talk about. Let's to that video. Hillary, deep state, secret ledger, world domination coming soon to a channel near you. Trust those who seek the truth and doubt those who say they have it. Wow, Jalen, I really feel like you're spot on with that one. Picking up on the context of the those who say they know idea. Cheers, man. That's a good way of putting it. Is there a secret honky? Rick Santos, dude, thank you so much for being part of the conversation and being funny. Thanks for throwing some humor in there, dude. Cheers. That's really smart. Yes, there is definitely a secret hotkey. I'd never play it. But you know what? Here's a hotkey we don't play very much that I've been thinking about bringing back. Ripple Mibs! That's right. Oh my god. Ripple Mibs! Okay. Deep honky. Yeah, the deep honky. You guys are great. I don't know where I love you guys. You guys are great. Making me laugh. All right. David D says, stop listening to tinfoil hat theorists and cartoon bears. Chris, Brad, David, and team wake up every day to address cross-border payment solutions. Adoption and utility will lead to price increase, not theory. David D, thank you for the support. I appreciate you. Delibre Filipa says, there is a test environment for sure, but do not confuse with production environment where dummy transactions can be done. I don't know if I should say yes or no to that. I have no idea. Yes. I'm not sure if you're saying you support all the information that we're discussing about how there's not a split ledgers, or if you're saying there is. I don't know. I think that you agree. I think Delibre Philippe agrees. Thanks, Louis, for reminding me. Guys, smash the like button. If you guys enjoy these streams where I basically pour over blockchain and DLT for an hour every morning, thank you for showing up. Thank you for liking the stream. Thank you for being part of the KFN army. You beautiful bastards, you ninja nerds. We're coming out hot. We're coming in strong. We're going to create an army of smart ninjas. And I don't know. I don't know if the world's ready for us. We're not. I mean, we're pretty small now. I only hit like 3 to 4 million impressions every 28 days for my personal Kung Fu Nerd network. I feel like we got to kick that up to like a couple 100 million, maybe close in on 1 billion. Maybe we can start taking over small countries or something. I don't know. What's up, Steven Chip? He says, hey, some real guy. Steven, yeah, what's up? Everyone's just chatting. Everyone's just saying, hey. Hey, there I am. I'm back. Oh, this is all like right before the crash or right after the crash. let's get back to some. I'm gonna skip to the end. Whoa, there are so many comments. I just blazed past so many comments. I'm gonna try to catch up on some of these. This is legit. You guys are amazing. David D says, Kung Fu Nerd, thanks for your thought leadership. This doesn't happen to many other YouTuber live streams. Facts, not false prophets. Thanks, man. I'm happy to do it. Happy to be here. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your kind words. And I appreciate you guys just tuning in to the conversation. I think that's a big part of it. Whoa. I've never seen that happen before. Clara T just dropped a comment, and it says, message deleted by the Google moderator team. Is Google watching? Google, am I doing okay? Google, just send me an email if there's like certain things I shouldn't talk about, because I like don't know where that line is sometimes and I cross it. If Google mods are sitting in my chat right now, please, for reals, reach out to me and say what's up. Open up a line of communication with me. You know I do work for the government, so I need to definitely be careful. Clara T, what happened? What did you just comment? Clara T, message me later, and I would love to know what just got deleted by a Google moderator team. That's what's up. We might be getting too real out here. Too real. I'm Batman. If the return on investment has any coin, etc., XRP up to number 2 again. That's right. Dang, it's sitting right in front of me and not even notice it. Cheers. XRP took back number 2 spot pretty easily from Ethereum. That was not a very long run. Ethereum falling 16% in 24 hours. XRP finding support at about 10% loss. 33 cents on coin market cap. I thought it was 31 on Binance a second ago. Let's go see. It's already come up. Nope, that's Ethereum. Oh wow, it's already popped up a little bit. 32.3. That's kind of cool, actually. That's very cool. Cheers. Good looking out. Good looking out. Who is that? Ham Killer. Thanks, man. Thanks, mate. That's why you have to wait. These are all valid questions. Yeah, totally. These are all good questions. Totally. Maybe there's someone's that's name is Google moderator team and they decided to do that. I don't know. Cheers. Lawrence XRP, what's up, man? How are you? Prodigal, what's up, my man? Caroline, cheers. How are you? XRP Shill says, I'm relatively new to crypto, so if this has already been largely debunked, my apologies, but I recently came across Shane Ellis' theory. I hope there's some truth to it. Who knows? No big deal. That was, to throw some context around your comment, that was something that we were discussing about 5 minutes ago. I don't know. Yeah, no big deal, dude. I'm happy to talk about it all. No big deal. Shane Ellis' theory's been kind of debated back and forth for a minute. I think people believe whatever they want. Tim Gash says, yo, dude, the FBI called and they said, shut up. Too late. I am the FBI. My director has already told me what I can and can't talk about. Yo, it's not smart to take your financial advice from cartoon bears. Who are you calling a cartoon bear, bro? I'm a real person. I have feelings. Cheers. RMR Saturday? Maybe not this Saturday. I would love to bring back RMR's hard ham on the RMR, but I got a lot of stuff going on. This is the last week that I'm like under a super crunch. So as far as like the fact that I can even be here for an hour is like a really cool thing. So cheers, thanks guys. Let's see. Google's always watching. Trying to catch up with some comments before I bounce. See that? What did I say? I don't see that. Foo. LON. LOL. KFN has no idea. Prodigal, you're right. I listened to Temper Pundit shrieking about XRP $1,000 with Kung Fu's reality. I don't know what that comment means, but I'm happy to tell me more. You're showing too much shoulder. Google had to shut it down. That's funny. That's funny. Google AI will auto-delete comments. Interesting. So you're saying it's an AI thing. All right, I'm at the bottom. Finally, I caught up with the bottom here. $1,000 XRP is a 40 trillion market cap. These YouTubers are high on opium. I just saw Jungle drop that video, and I might have to check it out. I do like Jungle, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and say I don't know what he put in that video, so I'll look at that and see what he says. Whoa, here we are finally to the bottom. What's up or down? Jake Roberts says. What's the truth? KFN, clarity, question mark. Sean Schaefer says, it must have been Google because us mods cannot mod other mods. Interesting. I thought you could. I thought you guys could mod each other. Interesting. Coin Collector says, we have 2 ledgers. Bet on it. Did you watch this whole stream and just decide to show up and like make the most ridiculous comment ever? What are you saying? Are you saying that they built a whole separate ledger over here that's like functioning on its own? Like there's a whole nother ledger? You think there's a whole nother ledger? They forked their own ledger to compete with themselves. They're like, you guys, you know what's a really good idea? Oops, I just drew that line too much. You know what's a really good idea? We should build another ledger to compete with our first ledger. That sounds smart. That sounds like you know what? Do it. David, get to work. Build the second ledger. Launch it. What are you talking about? God, why did I do that again? Oh, God dang it. Now it's frozen. Now I just broke everything. Oh, my mouse is broken. I'm going to leave that there. That line's fine. That line's fine just how it is. What are you talking about? Are you saying that they're using this private ledger function that's built on top of one of these other ledgers? Or are you saying that they forked their own ledger to compete with themselves? Be more specific with your comment, bro, or else I don't think you actually watch the stream or know what's going on. They will merge. That's Coin Collector. You are funny, dude. You're funny. Tomorrow's DII video. XRP gives better orgasms. Shush. All right. I'm just not gonna. It means I listen to you. Oh, Scott. Thank you so much, Scott, for the comment. I appreciate. He says, I listen to you because you balance reality with what everyone else is saying, which is ridiculous predictions. You know what? That's something I've become kind of good at. I'm kind of good at this now. I'm going pro. Ha 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 ha. Isn't the second ledger just stellar? Shoot. Golly. You guys are wicked. You guys are on point today. You guys are on point. Coin Collector says to the lifeboats explains it. Yeah, does he? Tell me more. Coin Collector, who are you? I see you. I see you. I know who you are. What's up? Sean Schaefer says, hey, KFN, to clear up the 2 ledgers, I was replying to someone else's 2 ledger comment and said DS said there's a separate simulator to stress test and play out scenarios. Yeah, Sean Schaefer, I really appreciate you and your support and your knowledge and your contribution to the channel, man. I'm not saying anything other than cheers. I appreciate you for being part of the conversation, and we're obviously all trying to learn about this together and be better and more informed about this technology and where the value trap will be. So I appreciate that. No big deal. Tim Gash says, I've been getting drunk and hanging out with Alexa. Why is Google so mad? All right. I can see we've run this stream down into the ground. Cheers. GD, how are you? Hey, KFN, how are you, dude? You and Oz are cool. I really like Oz. I'm going to have Oz on soon, and we'll chat it up. Thanks, guys, so much. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. We kind of went over an hour. I know Alex is coming on here in a minute, and I don't even get to listen ever to other streamers, but I have a bunch of stuff to do. I might be able to put him on the background and catch up with what he's chatting about today, but I will happily be back tomorrow, same time, same place. So no big deal. Happy to do it. Popping off, doing the thing. I took my time back. Sean Schaefer says, yeah, cool. Just wanted to make sure. Anthony Jackson says, KFN, you know that jerk is purposely streaming in your time. No one has any times, I guess, is the real call. So in reality, this is my time, and I'm taking it back. And also, it's a good way to... Basically, I've started thinking about deleting streams after I stream them, so either you can show up and learn, or you can miss out. So, good times, great oldies. I had Louis request that I don't delete streams, so I left yesterday's up. I might leave today's up because it seems like it's a pretty hot topic right now. But for the most time, honestly, we're gonna maybe just leave it up for now. We might delete it later, depends. So honestly, really appreciate you guys. It means a lot to be here, to see all of you beautiful people, and basically, cheers. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We're gonna be back tomorrow morning talking about blockchain and DLT tech. What does it mean? Where's the value trap? All those exciting things. If you guys haven't already, you should definitely use all the links in my description. There's other videos that I dropped in there. There's a video from the 200 partners, Ripple XRP 200 partners. Where's the volume? Win, flip, switch. The reality is too that if you haven't gotten into the Cash app, you get free $5 cash by using my link. You can get a free stock for giving your data over to Robinhood with my link. You can also get into Binance. If you want to get into Binance and you haven't, you can get a Ledger Nano S in the link to the description, in the description links as well. And also, if you guys really like my channel and you maybe don't have access to super chats, or if you don't want to super chat me, or maybe you just want to contribute but you don't really know how else other than super chatting, you can sign up for my Patreon, which is a really easy way for you to support the channel. You can contribute even as little as $1 a month, goes a really long way to me doing less grinding on other things and putting up more content, variety of content, obviously putting up more movement videos and more tutorials and more crypto videos, etc. So cheers. I really appreciate all you guys. You're beautiful and amazing just how you are. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm happy to be back and feeling good and kind of just like stepping into my power spot, stepping into my flow again. So this is the last week that I'm really crunching to get some stuff done and cleared off my plate, and I'll have more time for us. So if you guys have been messaging me, or if you guys are playing like Snowman, if you're sending me messages on Patreon, I'll be in there checking it out in a second, maybe tomorrow. So cheers. You're beautiful and amazing just how you are. Have a great day until I see you next time.
Brought to you by your teeth.
Nice stream.
No. No.